Hi, and welcome to our first in our videos for our computer hardware class. Chapter 1 is an overview of everything and all the chapters to follow. Chapter 1 is testable material, and anything that I go over in these series of Chapter 1 videos should be taken down as notes. If you see something bold and underlined, it especially should be taken down as notes. And if you have any questions at any time, you can stop and email me if we're not in class this time, or raise your hand if we are, to clarify any points that are on there. Also, we have our class forums to ask questions as well as the online chat. So, the next section, we're going to talk about storage devices. And there's two kinds of storage devices. There's temporary and there's permanent. The CPU only talks to the temporary storage because the CPU just needs to store information while it's calculating. That's what it does. It doesn't hold things for long term. It holds it for milliseconds, nanoseconds, as it uses it and pulls it back. Okay, so CPUs don't talk to permanent storage. They only talk to temporary storage. So as we get into that, it's kind of confusing for some people. And the way you need to think of it is, if you're the CPU, and you're taking a math test, you want all the information to be right here at your desk that you're using, right? You don't want to have to go back to a textbook to get it. It takes too long if you had to walk to the library to look up how to do a problem, to come back here to do the problem. So all the information is temporary, and it's in memory and temporary storage. The CPU only talks to that. It does not talk to the permanent storage. So chapter 5 is called primary storage or memory. That's the next section that we're going to talk about. Okay, memory is in RAM, or random access memory, and we're going to get used to pulling it out, putting it in, know how to buy, how much, how to upgrade our computer to put more RAM into it. But it is the only thing that the computer CPU talks to. The motherboard talks to the memory, the motherboard talks to the hard drive, and the motherboard moves information from the memory that the CPU put there to the hard drive. But chapter 5 is about primary storage, which is temporary. All information in primary storage is lost whenever we turn off our computer. It's held in memory sticks. And the kind of stick in this laptop is a different form factor than in your desktop, but it's still basically the same thing. It's memory. It is storage spots of zeros and ones of tables that the computer then puts that binary information into and pulls it out continually. We're going to learn how it does that in chapter 5, how to decide what kind of memory to buy. But really, in this section, you just need to understand that memory, RAM, is the primary storage for a computer, and that it is volatile and temporary. Okay, there's lots of different kinds of RAM that has come out over the years, but we're boiled down to two now that we use. We use what's called DDR3 and DDR4, and we'll use both of those. In our class, most of our computers at school still use DDR3. Our servers use DDR4. A couple other computers use DDR4. But RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It's primary for CPU processing. It's where the CPU talks. It's volatile, meaning it goes away when the power is removed. And it's temporary, in that it's refreshed thousands of times a second. Hundreds, millions of times a second. It works in nanoseconds. And so it is important that you have good memory, or a computer have all kinds of problems. But it's what the CPU talks to. So primary storage is RAM, it's temporary, and it's volatile. Okay, that's primary storage.